All right, Cowboy Nation. Sue then signed another deal with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So he's off any radar that we thought we might have had. And I know that we didn't have, what have you. But going back to the philosophy of what we are doing is we just trying to find bargain deals. And when I say Sue, you know the guy that plays interior for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who pretty much helped them out tremendously. And interior defensive presence is the main thing. And I know he's long in the tooth and these sorts of things, but let's just be real. A lot of times it's a lot to move families from here to there. And that deal probably was like, hey, I'm already in Florida. Let me just play one more year. I got a Super Bowl ring with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Why not stay in Florida, in Tampa Bay for another year? So whatever the dealings are, he's there for another year. Now, back to the Dallas Cowboys talk. We got three guys. As they say, two and impossible, right? It's all predicated upon whether or not these guys pass their medicals. Their medicals are important. And Jayron, it's not his medical as relates to like physical stuff. It's more so off the field stuff and the other things that I'm hearing that's going on with him. But he do have knowledge of George Edwards. I didn't believe that he was still on his team. Coach George Edwards still affiliated with the Dallas Cowboys, and they got a close connection from what I heard from the streets. You know how the streets be talking. They said, hey, him and George Edwards are cool. Yeah, so it could be that. But back to Malik and Kazee, it's predicated upon their medicals. They got to see whether or not they can pass their medicals. Of course, Achilles tear or what have you is nothing to sneeze at. That's a major little issue there. Can they help? Yes. They both are ball hawks. I like Hooker more than Kazee because you could just do a little bit more, but health is a major issue. And the deal with Hooker is this right here. Can this kid pick up what we're trying to do? Because I believe there's more people in the room fighting for Kazee, believe it or not, over Hooker. Because Kazee, he knows the system. He knows Dan Quinn. He knows Joe Witt Jr. So he knows a lot of guys. And he got another offer for a visit on the table, meaning that there's some preliminary things that's out there. And the other offer is for the Lions. And I ain't lying, right? The Lions. But like I said in the previous videos, I'm more leaning on Malik Hooker because I can do a lot more with Hooker. I like his size. I like his range. I like his speed. I just don't like his history report as it relates to injuries. Cowboys got to figure this thing out because what's happening here, although we brought in those three guys, we got a long way to go, baby. You got a long way to go. And the longest way to go is for us to really look into these free agency picks that we got right now and see how they can be implemented. Now, of course, the old saying, hey, we're not trying to find Hall of Famers in this thing. And you can't find a Hall of Famer in every single free agency pick. You can't grab the best thing out of every free agency pick because these are depth guys, and these are guys that's going to be brought in just for a cup of coffee. But we got to look at it like this, Cowboy Nation. If we shore up the depth and then we go into the draft, which I believe that's what the Cowboys are intending to do, is to go into this draft and say, all right, this is the guy we really like. This is the guy that we really want to see if we can develop. And this is the guy we try to build through. That's their philosophy. And like I said before, it's not me that can go into the Jerry Jones office and say, hey, change up your philosophy because predicated upon the previous Super Bowls that were won by other teams, this is what they did in the free agency. That's how they was able to move and squeeze and get that pick in, right? Or player in, opposed to drafting. But I know we have a philosophy, a strong philosophy and a core beliefs, and they sticking to it. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's flat out nothing wrong with it. So those medicals, depending on what they're able to do, they're going to figure it out. But the language within the contract that they offer them is predicated upon what they're going to exemplify or do out there or exudes out there as relates to what they do on the medical aspect of it. Well, what you saying? Well, clauses. You guys remember the Gerald McCoy signing last year? And a lot of people were like, oh, man, he got injured during practice or what have you. It's crass of the Cowboys to cut him before the man can get his $3 or $4 million. But they had that clause in there in their contract. And I'm quite sure in the hearts of hearts that the Cowboys are working out on a contract aspect, not just the medicals, for Hooker and Kazee. And say, hey, if this injury occurred during the game or if you play such and such amount of games, then the contract is null and void, or only $500,000 out of the $2 million is guaranteed, or there's the settlement. These type of things are put into places or writing so that these things can be done on the proper angle or on the proper level there. So if the Cowboys are not able to come up with that concise contract wording, then we're sitting back looking at this thing saying, this player's gone. This player moved on to another team because we couldn't come up with the language. So free agency, once again, is still long. There's still a wave after the draft, and we got a couple more weeks before the draft hits. So keep in mind, the previous week, they brought in defensive guys along the front, right? This week, they've been entertaining the safety groove. Hey, maybe next week, they probably be looking at linebackers. They slow, ain't they? You know, Cowboys, look, everybody else is just racing to get this player, get that player. Cowboys just sit up there, let that first wave go through, plan their vacation time. They probably went somewhere on vacation, right? On the opening week, because that's normally what they do. They probably went somewhere, but they said, you know what, we caught a lot of heat last time. And since it's this pandemic going on, we ain't going to tell nobody where we going, right? We just going to casually move on, casually move here, and casually move there. That's what I believe would happen. That first week, they went on vacation mode. Or, you know, they signed Dak Prescott, of course. Then they went on vacation. Probably said, Dak, come on with us, you know, who knows? And Dak probably declined and said, man, I need to work out and rehab, you know, get myself together so I can be ready for week 1, right? Cowboy Nation, post me your thoughts, post me your concerns. How do you guys feel? How you guys feel about not being able to get the Sioux sweepstakes? Oh, shout out to the Eagles for getting Nick Foles. Nicholas Foles, right? Oh, no. They didn't get Nick Foles. Joe Flacco. Yeah, that's who I'm thinking. Joe Flacco. Shout out to the Eagles for getting Joe Flacco. I'm thinking about Nick Foles and Joe Flacco, same person. But they got Joe Flacco. Joe knows, right? So shout out to the Eagles for that. Oh, I can't wait to face those Eagles. My brother know who I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? You know who I'm talking about, right? But it is what it is. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Go grab you a cup of coffee. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. We out. Peace.